the word is salvation. And we know that whenever, hear me out, okay? Because we know whenever certain persons use the word salvation, what they were talking about is saving the soul from hell, and like this monstrous God that's gonna dash you in hell. But actually, salvation, the saving that Christ came to save us from, is ignorance. Okay, so when we talk about salvation, we're talking about being saved from ignorance. So I want to start this video by talking about being saved, and about salvation, and the salvation is being saved from ignorance. For anyone new to the channel, I'm Patrice Elliott. I'm an integrative psychological therapist and a metaphysician. There is a saying that broad is the road that leads to destruction, and narrow is the road that leads to salvation, and few are they that finds it. And Hermes said this, and Christ said it, and other people, Vivekananda says it. Many philosophical school of thought talk about this word salvation, but for some of us coming from a religious background, we know it more from a traumatic way. And Christ also said, for lack of knowledge my people perish. And we know that there are institutions that tries to block people from growing. They try to stunt, the sun is coming up and down. They try to stunt people's growth, and some of them try to mislead people. And the ones who are misleading, they use a lot of fear. But for us who wants to be saved from ignorance, we actually have to experience. We have to know. This is why there's an axiom that says, know thyself and ye shall know the universe and the gods. And there is a real important reason for that. But not too many people want to do personal development. Very few. And this is what they're talking about, this narrow road. Not too many people want to do personal development. Not too many people want to take the beam out of their own eyes so they can see the speck in their brother's eye. And this is talking about shadow work, by the way. Us seeing our own shadow, as opposed to us just looking at others and criticizing them. We have to do the deep work on ourselves. We have to look at our own shadow. We have to look at what's wrong with us. There's a lot of content about narcissists and where they're bashing narcissists or sociopaths, and most of these narcissists that gets a bashing. And the so-called empaths or light workers, they're not looking at themselves. But if we want to be saved from ignorance and our own folly, we have to do the work on ourselves. I do also want to say that for every one of us that work on ourselves, we're helping the whole of humanity. Working on yourself is actually really important for the collective consciousness. So as you work on yourself, you're actually helping other persons to grow just by you working on yourself. So it's a big, big task. Now, there is a lot of misleading information out there, and this is why I persevere with this little channel. And I'm asking you, for those who watch this channel, if you've just discovered it, do like, share and subscribe. And if you have subscribed, because not many people press the bell, and I do know why you don't press the bell, is because you don't want to be bombarded with so much information all the time from all these different channels. I get it. I absolutely get it. But if you want to know when I post, then do tap the bell, and then you will see my posts, and you can help me out, support me in that way to help push these kind of content so it goes to who needs to hear it, So there's a lot of misinformation out there. Some people are doing it deliberately, and some people are doing it just out of ignorance because they want to teach before they have learned. Sometimes it's something to do, and sometimes they're just so eager, they're eager to share, but not eager to learn, and this is a great folly because it's causing a lot more confusion. And so the reason why I do persevere with this little channel of mine, because I've said it before, like I don't like making videos. And I'm gonna get over that. I'm working on that, because again, it's not according to our will, but it's the will of God. So when we say thy will be done, we're actually learning obedience to the call. I remember a couple years ago, when I asked Spirit, what is my purpose? And Spirit says, if we were to tell you, you would have civil war. And it's weird because I have this book and I've read this book before and have overlooked certain things. And it actually talks about the civil war in this book, because it says like the first stage of being born again is civil war within yourself. So it's when your spirit and your flesh is warring against each other, because your flesh wants to do something and your spirit wants to do something else. Now, we don't have to have civil war, because this is again about shadow work. So when we're doing the work on ourselves, instead of us fighting against ourselves, we learn to be more harmonious. So I'm not fighting myself with the channel. I give myself some time, and I allow myself to do the things that I have to do, or take a break when I need to take a break, so that I'm not fighting with myself. So there's ways of you walking in your calling and walking in your purpose, and being obedient, but doing it in a more gentle way. Now, the point of this video, and I'm rambling on, is I want to talk about when we go through struggles, okay? When we go through struggles, it's for our own good. And in these higher teaching, higher knowledge, they know that the more struggles you go through, the greater your potential to perfection, the greater your potential to develop faster. So Buddhists and Stoics and certain people knew that the more pressure and the more challenge is, the greater potential you have to become strong faster. And some people will actually go and put themselves in these situations to break through. I don't recommend it. I recommend the gentle way. I'm for Steiner's way. But there are some pathways that, like I'm reading Vivekananda, and he's like, why not develop in one lifetime, when you, if you can. And it's like, and Steiner is the very opposite. Steiner's like, take your time, you don't have to push yourself. You got many lifetimes. I like Steiner's way. But like, I'll sit this one out. You can be gentle. I like the gentle, loving way. But I'm saying, as you're having challenges, which will inevitably come, use those challenges to make yourself better. So if somebody tries to do something bad to you, actually they're doing you a favor. It's always for your benefit. When I learned this in metaphysics, and I started to practice this, so we don't retaliate when somebody does something bad. We don't do eye for an eye. You don't retaliate how the ego wants to retaliate and take revenge, or to think badly, or to do something bad to the person. Instead, you understand that, and the scripture says this, that all things work together for the good for those who love God. And you can say it in a more, or in a less Christianized way, that on this path, everything that happens, we can learn the lessons from it. And in psychology, it's the same thing. When in therapy, it's the same thing. Everything is material. That's what my teacher would say. Everything is material. And so we know that everything is useful. That's another way. So everything that happens to you is useful. You don't have to retaliate against people. Instead, you look at that as a way that, how can I reflect? How can I do some shadow work? How can I work on myself? What is this actual difficulty offering me, or these difficult people? And the reason why I hope I'm making sense. Sometimes I don't know if I'm making sense to anybody. Let me know if you think if I'm making sense, if you're getting what I'm getting at. Because it's hard when you're talking to, you don't even know who's listening. When you're talking to somebody individual, I know how to gauge individually where that person is, because I would have taken them through stages. So I know that they understand. But when you're talking to, you don't know who, it's hard to know whether people understand what I'm getting at. I will try to be clear. Every time somebody harms you, there is good you can get out of it. Don't let anybody's evil towards you make you bitter. And I want to read about these 12 torments. In this is the book, the Hemetica, right? The Wisdom of the Lost Pharaoh by Timothy Frick and Peter Gandy, right? And they say, no one can be saved until he is born again. If you want to be reborn, purify yourself. If you want to be reborn, purify yourself of the irrational torments of matter. The first of these is ignorance. The second is grief. Third is lack of self-control. Fourth is desire. Fifth, injustice. Sixth is greed. Seventh is deceit. Eighth is envy. Ninth is treachery. 10th is anger. 11th is rashness. The 12th is malice. Under these 12 are many more, which force the man who is bound to the prison of the body to suffer from the torments they inflict. But by Atum's mercy, they may all depart and be replaced by understanding. This is the nature of rebirth. And this is what Christ was talking about. Also the freedom, this knowledge that when we have the real knowledge, our soul will be free from the body, but in a way that is healthy for the soul. So we are not bound to the body, like we can astral project, we can go into different dimensions, we can, learn quicker and faster. And because the soul does its own thing, but it's like we are not conscious when the soul is traveling. Like this personal consciousness is then, it's like we're kind of disconnected from ourselves. So when we have the knowledge, we will be reconnected back to ourselves, and we will connect back with everything else. So this salvation that we're talking about is saving ourselves from ignorance of not knowing who we are and not knowing the universe. And if you notice that whenever you fall out with somebody, or not even fall out, when somebody does something to you, other people in your life want you to mistreat that person. This is not what this is saying, and this is certainly not what Christ taught either. Christ just said it very simply: love your neighbor as yourself, and love your enemies, and do good to those who despitefully use you. The world does not tell you that. The world said cut them off, blah, 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 Boundaries, will set boundaries so people know they can't trample on us, right? Set boundaries, use the law to your advantage because it's there. We're not saying, then Christ said turn the other cheek. Like, I'm always like, Jesus invented twerking. It's just like, yeah, back that thing up. Oh gosh. I need a little silliness in my life, but the world is trying to turn you bitter, and the world is trying to make you become angry at people, make you hold grudges. This is talking about, it says, don't hold malice. You mustn't hold grudge against nobody. Let it go, release them. And when you don't hold malice, then you don't have karma with that person. That's why you have karma with these people from lifetime after lifetime, and you're wondering, me and this narcissist, or me and this toxic person, and me and these, why do I have to keep attracting these people, or why is this people in my family? That's because you have karma with them. If you let people go, when you say, when Christ taught us how to pray, he says, forgive us our trespass as we forgive those who trespass against us. So we don't have karma. We don't have no bad karma with nobody, and we have good karma too. That's why we have soulmates that come in with us, and it's so beautiful when we have these soulmates. Oh, I was having a little cry yesterday about my sister Madge, just love them. Anyway, I'm so in love. So we have these people in our family that we're so in love with, and then we have other people in our family that are absolute crooks, and we have to release them and accept that they are what they are, and we make our boundaries with them, but we still have love flowing through us. So I wanted to share this because I there's so much bad things going on with people cutting people off. And as well, when you cut people off, let them cut you off, then it's finished. You've done that cycle. When other people start leaving you, that's a good thing, because Don't be afraid of rejection, because this is the ego thing. The ego is afraid of rejection, so it tries to reject first. This is no good. What you do is, what people will just leave you. They will leave you because they get ashamed. All you do is show them. Say, I see you. I saw what you did. I know what you did. I'm not holding anything against you. I know you. I know you ripped me off. I know you did X, Y, Z, or I know you said X, Y, Z, or you did blah, blah, blah. Just show them. And they'll walk away from you. You don't have to push them nowhere. You just have to say, this is what happened. I don't hold nothing against you. I can see you as you are. That's it. That person is not going to really want to be entangled with you anymore. So you finish that cycle. But if you reject the person and you have malice in you, you have wrath and you have anger in you, yes, you might cut off that person, but another person is going to come back into your life so you can learn that lesson. Because you have to learn. You have to learn that. We're purifying ourselves, and with the purification, it means you. What is his name? Dwayne Dyer has this analogy about love, and he talks about the orange. He uses an orange. He says, anyone who squeezes an orange will get orange juice. That means anybody who interacts with us, what they should get back from us is love. We're not perfect. It's good. We're going to be sour orange. Sometimes it's sour. Think a lemon or Sybil orange. When you be sour, maybe a sour orange until you become sweet. So we're just practicing. You practice and you practice and you practice. And you're going to see the goodness that comes to your life because you're practicing love. No matter what happens, it's love. But I'm not telling you don't make boundaries, and I'm not saying make people do criminal things against you. We have a law for a reason. That's not what we're saying. So we don't want to make people think that they should be in abusive situations or have people use them and whatever. We're just talking about good thoughts, good word, good deeds, having love towards that person, release them from any karma with you. The word says, vengeance is mine, I will repay. This is why, because we were not taught, a lot of they said about 90% of the teaching was destroyed. 90% when they burnt down the Library of Alexandria and other places where they burnt up a lot of the manuscripts and things, like they destroyed a lot of the knowledge. But we have fragmented knowledge that we can go back and use and understand what it actually means, Vengeance is mine, I will repay. The universe has a karmic balance. Everybody has to work out their karma. Nobody can harm you without harming themselves. But it's for you to leave it. Now, I'm not talking about legal things, by the way. If somebody does something illegal, pray over it, seek legal advice, and go and do the right thing as it feels right and fitting to you, right? But we're talking about, and go get therapy, okay? People traumatize you and things, right? Go do the right thing so that you can get to a place where you have love flowing between you and that person. I'm at a stage where it doesn't matter what people have done to me because I've done the work on myself. It's not from wishful thinking or suffocating my emotions, because I've done the work on myself. All them people who harm me, I've been through SA, and various things in my life, but I've released myself from these people. I don't want no karma with them. So I'm saying it from personal experience, but I did do therapy and actually learned and become a therapist myself, and I do the work, So we're not talking about suppressing your emotions, and we're not talking about not taking legal actions if legal actions is necessary because you're protecting people from these predators, right? So it depends on what situations are. So you're doing the right thing, you're holding people accountable, but at the same time, you are not holding any karmic ties with this person because you've let them go in the spirit. You let them go in your soul. But on this plane, there is law for a reason, because some people need to lock up so that people can be protected from them, especially children. So, the sun is all over the place and is messing with the thing. I'm going to leave this video there. Leave me a comment. Let me know where you're commenting from, like where you are right now watching this video. I love it. Send me a little flag. Say, I'm watching from such and such. yeah, I understand you, or no, you waffle a lot. And also, if you've been traumatized, get some help. And I work online, by the way, if anybody wants to reach out to me. If you want to discuss anything that I've talked about in this video, I do free consultations. So you can reach out to me by WhatsApp or by email. And until next time, love.